We find Lorn in the middle of a city. There's a marketplace close. And you're, let's say, 5, 6-ish years old. Currently playing with some of the other children of the orphanage while you wait that your teacher is done with grocery shopping for lunch. What was his favorite game?
It was a game. I imagined like that the main streets in Iskansen has like a raised area in the middle where wagons and like rich people are able to walk because it's a little bit drier, and then you have the like little muddier, little more warm streets on the sides closer to the houses. And they used to play a game where you jump up to a wagon and try to grab something from the back of the wagon, whatever like loose tinklet thing was there. And the bigger and more shiny thing that you could steal, the better you were at this game. That was his favorite game. Yeah.
Very good game, amazing.
Yeah. It was always the best at finding like the most expensive stuff or the things that got the other kids in trouble because sometimes you stole something really valuable and then the watchers would come after you or something.
Okay. So it's currently not yet your turn. One of the older children's turn is currently happening. She's a human, a bit taller than you, and waiting for the next car to come in. Her name is Laura, and Laura has been waiting for a fancy cart with either like crystals or something shiny, maybe jewelry or anything that looks interesting to come by. And there's indeed a cart with a ribbit in the front, so a frog person who's smoking a pipe. There's a fiddle on the side, and he's currently driving by, basically, and she's waiting for her chance to leap on. And you're like standing to the side, so you're not in a suspicious corner. And as she is about to jump on the cart halts. And you just hear a very loud person, a very loud person clearing their throat situation. I can't really do that because the mic won't pick it up. But as the ribbit stands up and is suddenly double its own height, what looks over its own cart and looks down to Laura, who's like hanging onto a little pearl necklace, and looks over at him. He takes the pipe out. What do you think you're doing? And she just looks up, humongous eyes. Isn't sure if she should let go or not of the pearl necklace. The ribbit gets off. She lets go, walks back some steps, falls on the ground, and like crawls back. The ribbit doesn't look aggressive, but she's scared anyway, which makes sense. You've been caught a few times. This is not your favorite part of the game.
Yeah.
There's a watcher that sees it from the other side that you can spot currently walking up in that direction.
Was Laura still holding the pearl necklace while she crawled away?
She let go.
She let go. Okay, I think Lorn, in a move to be a show off to the other kids, just bolts with semi-superhuman child speed, runs across the road, grabs the necklace, because it's I suppose like still hanging, dangling out of the thing with like the pocket or the bag that Laura was trying to take out, and then just grabs it and just speeds across the road and just disappears along the buildings with all the other kids like laughing and running around and just making chaos, trying to make a getaway.
Nice. It's fairly easy to snag off because it looks like the cart is also like the stand from which the ribbit sells this stuff. So it was just dangling on a little hook, and she took it off the hook but then let go, so it was just hanging over the edge. So you just run past the cart, grab it, and then continue running. The watcher was so focused on if the ribbit is gonna punch the child or anything that he doesn't even notice that you grab the necklace and you dart into a little alleyway. Your heart is beating out of your chest. And you look at the necklace. It has a big pearl on one end, and then a few pieces of sea glass around. So it's like a pearl and sea glass necklace.
It's shiny.
What is interesting? Pearls are incredibly valuable. Sea glass is a bit. Well, you're never sure if it's sea glass or some weird form of a crystal. But the pearl is so incredibly, like...
hard to get.
Yeah, because it is shiny, but it's not reflective. Which is hardish to find. But you, like, wipe a little bit of the dirt off and look at it a bit closer.
They probably fell into like the mud running around and like jumping through trash and like I imagine cats, the equivalent of this world's cats running away everywhere and people screaming, "Get kids, get out of here!"
I also think that your hand is not that clean. I think you didn't wash your hands before stealing something.
No, there's mud everywhere. Yeah, they're dirty kids.
Yeah. Interesting thing. I did say ribbit, but I did just notice that I think you've never seen a ribbit before.
Oh, a ribbit native to the summer? I can't remember you listed it. Okay, so so we never seen a ribbit, which probably was why Laura got really scared, kind of thing. But are there enough like strange multitude of strange creatures in the city that I imagine the city being like a metropolis, like everyone meets up here. That seeing something odd and new and weird is not really uncanny to a kid because
true.
Because
but now thinking about it, that's probably why the watch person was so weird.
Okay.
And
because
didn't
he
walk
also
over
didn't know she didn't know what kind of creature it
because the
was.
person sat on the cart like a normal person, humanoid, something cloaked. But when they got up, you saw that it's a frog, a ginormous frog.
Cool. Nice.
So you're like still in the alleyway looking at your little present.
He's just observing, like shiny, and like checking if someone shiny.
As you look at your little necklace, you notice that there's a little tarnish on the pearl when you turn it that you can't seem to get off just with a cloth or with your clothing. But there is a little puddle in the corner which you could probably wash it in if you want to get it wet.
Is he at this age wary of shiny surfaces or like puddles? And he looks at the puddles like, no. He looks at the puddle and it's like, please don't be weird, please don't be weird, please don't be weird, and just walks over to the puddle. I wouldn't call it wary. I think for now you've just seen funny things in puddles, so I think it's puddles. It's not really a puddle, it's a sheet of ice with a little bit of water underneath. So I think it's interest, intrigue maybe, but not fear yet. Yeah, but it's still a please don't be weird, please don't be weird, but not that. So you look into it, and the ice is not as reflective as it could have been. So for now it's fine, but you do have to break it a little bit to get to the water. So I think he exhales a little. So it's both a mixed combination of "aww," but still. He totally breaks it open a little bit and be very careful not to drop the rest of the things in the puddle.
It's a very thin sheet of ice, considering that you're in the middle of the city where it is a little bit warmer than outside. It's still cold, but not that cold. So it's
People
easy
still have to
like,
live in the city.
Yeah, so it's easy to like break in to the edge, basically. As you break the corner and get a little bit water and like clean the pearl, the dirt comes off. But as the water stills in that little corner that you bumped free with your like foot, so your hands don't get too cold. You look at it and there's this pinkish hue that usually shows up before you see funny things in puddles and other reflective surfaces.
I think he freezes and stops because sometimes I think he actually sees scary things, but mostly it's like, oh, what is it this time? And then he holds the pearls like really, really close to not drop them and like looks down as if he was looking down from a great height. Kind of.
As you like bend over and look in, it seems to go down further than you think it should. And it's like looking into, let's say, 4 meters deep. Some water situation, even though this is clearly just a puddle.
Is it looking at it upside, as if it's inverting the upside and so it becomes upside down, or does it look like it's just looking down a well? Or
yeah, it's more like looking into a well. Just slightly pink shaded.
I think he looks down at it. It's like, and saying something. Yeah, he looks down at it and it's like, "You won't catch me this time," and then scratches some dirt over it and then runs away. Just laughing as if he defeated a great enemy.
I love it. As you like run past a few different alleyways, you hear people yelling for you.
Is it good voices or bad voices? Like, is the grown-ups yelling, or is it
for now
kids?
It's some children.
I think he can he. Is it possible to break the necklace?
Yeah. You can like either slowly and carefully open the knot, or just snap the band.
Yeah, I think he snaps it, and then he takes all of the. He looks at what he thinks is the most shiny, prettiest pearl, and then he keeps that on the string, and he takes that, puts the rest of the pearls in his right pocket, and then he puts that string around his cloth and like really hides it in his like raggedy, I don't know, this Dickinson look of scrambled street kid that he is.
Just dressed a bit warmer because it's fucking cold outside.
Yeah, so it was fucking cold in London as well, I think. Like London ice it's like, you know, for a street kid everything is always cold. But he wants to keep that pearl for himself because if he knows that if he gives the other kids pearls or he shows them, some of the older kids will take them from him, but then if they take something from him, they won't look at the rest of his stuff. Yeah.
So as he puts the other like crystal sea glass something into his pocket, there's a hand on his shoulder.
He freezes like like death is coming over him.
And he hears like an androgynous voice, clearly from the teacher at the orphanage, Lucasta. Lorn, it is time for lunch.
Yes, head teacher. Yes, head teacher. Of course, we're just playing head teacher. I'm sorry for the mess, head teacher. We're coming back, and like just makes like every single excuse he can get grammatically with his minimal child linguistic he can think of. His vocabulary.
They're an elf. They like walk around you and like bend down toward you and finger out the little necklace.
No.
They
he
don't
looks so
put. They don't
sad.
take it off. They don't just take it out. They just take it out and look at it. Look at you. Look at it, and then put it back underneath your shirt.
Like, oh my god, it's that teacher is the cool teacher.
Yeah, they like pet it so it's underneath your shirt and close another button. And then they say, "I won't tell anyone if you don't tell anyone."
Tell them what, teacher.
Exactly. And then they take your hand.
And he looks like he's one of those super happy kids that knows a secret for the rest of the day. That's fake.
And then they take your hand you a little basket of fruit and stuff, and carry the other one as you walk back to the other kids. Laura's fine. Looks a bit humiliated and very dirty because she fell into the dirt. But you make your way back to the orphanage to have lunch.
I think at some point, I think Lord actually if none of the big kids make any trouble, I think he actually gives Laura the pearls because it was her win or game, and this is his way of, in Swedish we say, buttering the other big kids up, or like. But on the other hand, she also did all the work. Like for him, it's like he's very well aware that he kind of stole her victory, and he feels a bit bad about it. Yeah.
Okay. She will appreciate it a lot, but she'll not say much.
Yeah.
Because she feels so bad that she lost. We will now fast forward a few years. But how do you... What is time? But how do you think Lorn... I want to say develops? Does he stay the wild child who steals shit? Does it get a bit better? How does he feel about the smaller children doing the same things?
So I can imagine that he becomes this perpetual older kid along the street kids. So he's always a little bit too old along the other street kids for them. But that also makes them they're the senior in the way that they're still kids.
Yeah.
You know? They're like 12-year-old when everyone is 10. And that makes him the senior and the old kid who knows things.
The best hiding spots.
The best hiding spots and stuff like that. And I think I think Lorn could definitely have had like a little Peter Pan complex going on with that, because he couldn't understand why anyone, all the stuff that like we make food, we sleep on the streets, and like bad things happen, but like he also doesn't know anything else. Like I think that unless he got like adopted into like a middle class family or something like that, he still is just someone. Either it's doing boring things for money or doing fun things for money and sleeping on the streets. So depending on what kind of, like, if you have any plans for how this culture works. But otherwise, I could totally go with that he has like a little perpetual Peter Pan complex, a little bit. He turns into that little bit too old street kid kind of thing. Because at some point, like, he will be... Like, every merchant will know him by name, more or less. And they will know that if he's around, the other street kings around. So at some point, the other street kids are like, yeah, we can't really have you coming with us, because then we can't steal some stuff. Because people will know that we are around. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that. That works. Okay. So a few years later. Lorn is about 10-ish, maybe a bit older, but one of the older kids.
There was a cat.
There was a cat, yeah. This is the night that you decided it's too boring in the orphanage. I'ma sneak out.
After purview.
Obviously. Yeah, you should be in bed. You're absolutely not. You found out how to climb out of your window without making a ruckus and without waking the smaller children sleeping.
Making the bed with pillows so it looks like someone is sleeping
Yeah.
there. Yeah, totally.
That type of situation. Leaving like a little piece of your clothing hanging over the edge so it looks like you're sleeping in a weird position. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Where would he go? If
I
he's
think
bored?
he has a place that is not pretty for everyone else's eyes, but it's like a in the middle of like downtown where you have usually a lot of buildings that are abandoned and like collapsed. There's a place where I imagine like a half stone, half wooden structure thing where you can sneak in, and it's like the perfect spot for lying on like an old wooden beam. That's the only thing more or less surviving of the whole structure, and look at the stars. Are there stars in this verse?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, look at the stars, and it's probably some kind of hot spot somewhere that makes it not too cold to be around there. But on the other side of this beam, you have to balance and be very like he is just getting old enough that his weight makes this a little precarious. But he can balance over this beam to a little hidey sneaky corner that's like the remaining piece of a loft where he has like a bunch of stuff. Usually sneaks out when he wants to be alone.
Okay.
Very
So
few
like
of the other kids know about it. Yeah.
Okay, so I was about to ask. So a little corner that barely any one of the other kids know about.
Yeah.
A little cozy situation. Okay.
He probably made some kind of cool graffiti in the corner somewhere.
Yeah. What is the graffiti of?
Weird things he've seen through the gloaming, of course.
Okay.
That's like creatures and stuff that does not exist in this world kind of
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
And the sun.
There's like a weird glowing light bulb thing across fields. And there's green, way too much green. Like it's the wrong color for mountains. Mountains are white
Okay.
and gray.
I like that. As you just lay there dangling one of your feet, looking into the sky.
Eating an apple or whatever he does.
Yeah. There's a weird feeling that you get. You can't really place it. But the temperature changes just ever so slightly. It gets a bit warmer than it should be.
Maybe that's why he likes this place, because sometimes there's like a warm waft of air that comes out of nowhere and he can't really...
Yeah. And you like look over at some of your drawings or graffitis. And start to just think about what you've seen so far. And then one of the creatures that you drew, it's like a person with horns. But the horns look different than you're used to. You know some people with horns. But their horns are usually made out of crystals. Or what looks like ice. But this person had curled horns that were dark brown and did not look like crystal at all. More like tree bark. And you look at the drawing and it looks almost like their head is turning ever so slightly.
Is this something that he's used to happening? Or is this like an indication, oh, I'm probably asleep? Or is it weird as fuck?
It's weird as fuck. This has not happened before.
Okay. I think if he sees it turning, I think there's some kind of this like street kid sense where he immediately more or less scrambles or move his body to make himself less noticeable on this bee, and then just stays very, very still and hope that that thing will not look at you, kind of thing, while he's trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
The face will stop moving. And then a tree that you drew You didn't quite get the color right, but the shape was different than you're used to. It starts swaying ever so slightly, as if it's swaying with the wind.
Mm.
And then a pink mist comes out of the wall where your graffiti
Mm.
is on.
Mm.
And it looks like it's like touching the tree, and the tree bends to its touch
Mm.
ever so slightly. And the mist curls and moves
Mm.
so delicately.
Mm.
Usually it creeps in from corners, it's so much denser,
Mm.
but this is so light and airy.
I think he when he sees that it's just a mist. Oh, it's just that happening. I think he sits up, takes another bite of that apple thing that grows here, and then just gets ready, like puts both his hands on the beacon and like gets ready for a show and dangles his feet and he's, I think, at some point he says or thinks to himself that, oh, I wish Erin's character was here to see this, or that he could show this, but no one ever believes me and is never around when all the kids are here. It gets that kind of thoughts, and then
Yeah.
just enjoys the show, kind of.
Usually you get a show. Usually things turn into things, or you look into the mist and you see as if a little movie, something like that.
Mm.
But this time it's different. The very airy mist almost like searches for something,
Mm.
and then slowly but surely darts up and lands next to you on the beam
Mm.
and gets the rough shape of a person
Mm.
that sits next to you on the beam. Roughly your size.
Mm. Mm. Does it appear sudden or just like slowly coalescing from the mist, like?
It's like it looks like the mist slowly settles into the form of a person. It's still mist, but the form, that like the shape, is a person.
I think he totally just is highly fascinated because again I think he never interacted with mist things before at all because they're just ethereal things. So he just thinks that just biting it and then he slowly like pokes it on the side and just tries to poke through it and just play with it a little bit with a finger.
As you like, the second you touch it, the warmth comes over you and it gets a little bit lighter
Mm.
around you, as if somebody turned on a little lamplight.
Mm.
And you see the shape of the head being cocked a little bit to the side, looking, feels like it looks you up and down, but there's no face.
Mm. Mm.
And then it pokes you back.
Mm. Oh, I think he jumps like, oh, what the fuck, like, and all like this is probably too high to be safe to fall down from, but I think he almost falls down and more or less hangs on the beacon, like, no, there, like, and yells a little bit, and then just crawls up on the beacon again.
Yeah.
Because he's like a 12-year-old street kid who weighs nothing.
There's like the motion of somebody putting a hand in front of their face and like chuckling, like you can see the body moving, but you can't hear anything.
I think he, on all his fours, just crawls closer to it and like places his face like straight and it's like then pokes its nose if it has like a nose thing.
Yeah. The response is just like going back a little bit and then coming forward and touching nose to nose.
And it's like he jumps backward again, surprised, and like crawls backwards, like, are you real?
There's just a nod.
It's like, oh, do you have a name? Do you want to meet my friend? Oh, I have so many things I can show you. And then he just goes child rambling. But there's no sound coming out from the mist thing or anything? No. Yeah, so.
There's a little hand that like waves towards itself as it slowly flies down the beam and lands on the ground on the alleyway.
Oh, he's like, oh, I should really get back to bed, but who cares? And then he drives down and splits up with the mist thing creature.
The creature puts a hand on the wall, and the whole wall turns into mist.
Mm.
And it like takes a hand and waits for you to.
At this point, he turns a little bit suspicious because again, the creature is obviously beckoning him. It's like, I'm not sure. I should really. And what was the name of the teacher again? Lucasta will be so upset if I'm not in bed by tomorrow.
There's like
And
a little shrug, and then the creature just walks into the mist.
it's like, yeah, but what the heck? And then he. Mm.
As you walk in,
Oh.
the coldness that you're used to fades. And the feeling of calmness takes over as with a slight pink purplish hue. You see what looks like clouds on different levels. It's like a room made of clouds.
Mm.
And the bright pink mist waves and then vanishes into the clouds. It's incredibly beautiful here.
Mm.
And it feels safe.
Mm.
It feels like this is where you belong.
Is it, can you, is it a lot of space? Can you see far? Or is it just like a room kind of situation?
From where you're standing, it just looks like a room.
Okay.
But it's made out of clouds.
I think he's very flabbergasted. He just looks around and just like this again, the kid just not closing your mouth kind of thing, looking around. Yeah. And if nothing happens for a while, he probably catches himself and then like, wait, where did you go? And then tries to find this creature that lured him in here.
As you walk in a bit, you see that or notice that you can just push the clouds to the side a little bit and open up a little hallway made out of clouds.
He, at this point, he's so ready to just run down that corridor, and then he kind of just stops himself and like, wait, I actually need to get back at some point, and then he tries to look where is there an exit.
You turn around before like going anywhere else, and you just notice how the clouds close up the little view of the alleyway that you just had.
Can he super speed towards it, trying to catch and like jump through before it closes?
You can like dart toward it and like push the clouds and like get to it. As you put your hands on and are about to run through, you hit your shoulder on the wall. But you're on the other side of the alleyway, as if you're inside of the wall. You see the alleyway. And the clouds cling to what you graffitied on the other side, just mirrored obviously, but you're inside the alleyway wall.
Oh, so he's in the real world, but he's in the alleyway wall.
It looks like it.
Okay, is he trapped, or is there like
you
he
can't
can
get through that way?
Oh no. He tries to find some kind of knickknack or something where he can like search for an exit. I imagine he has been trapped in buildings before where things run out, so he becomes very efficient to getting out, but there's like a slight panic rising. Yeah.
You take a bit of time to like touch wherever, because usually you find a tiny window that you can squeeze through.
And he also doesn't want people to find this place, so he really doesn't want to call for help and stuff like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So you take a while to like find an edge or something. But on this wall, there's just the little piece of alleyway, and then just clouds after clouds behind clouds and more clouds.
Yeah. I'm having Is it possible for him to walk deeper into the clouds then,
Mhm.
but he can't walk closer, he can't walk more into the real world because again,
Yes.
it's yes. Okay. He will try to search for any kind of exit or some crevice or something where he can gets out, and at some point he probably starts kicking at like the bricks or something. But at some point he will give up and like, oh fuck, and Locasta will be so mad, and then tries to walk anywhere else in this cloudscape.
It does take him a while, so long that he gets so frustrated that he gets sad that he can't find a way out. Time is a bit weird, like you don't really have a sense of time in here. Could have been 5 minutes, could have been 2 hours. Bit weird. But you find a door that doesn't look like a real door, but better than clouds.
I probably at this time he probably sits down and having a small street kid cry, where you're essentially desperately trying to keep the tears in, but you're definitely having a cry, but you don't want to show it because then the other street kids will bully you. And then he just like wipes the tears away and goes towards the door and tries to.
The door's not locked; it just opens, and the slight pink sheen fades ever so slightly, and you walk into a longer hallway with mirrors.
And it's just a normal door. There's nothing exceptional that he would recognize from the door.
Regular
From his
door.
cultural point of view.
Just a wooden door.
Of view, it's just a normal. Yep.
Yeah. And behind it is like a hallway with stone flooring and humongous oval-shaped window-like mirrors. Like they are facing each other basically, but on the right and left side of the wall, and there's like 2 meters apart, I want to say, so you can walk in the middle of the hallway.
This is totally his way of being like he's very nervous and afraid right now, so he puts on this cocky street kid attitude. He puts both his hands in his pockets, walks in a certain like cocky way that's totally not intimidating at all for when you're 12, but probably would be intimidating if you were actually a street gangster. And it kind of like spits a little bit to the side and like puts on this whole attitude of like, no, I'm afraid of nothing, and just fancy. And he just appraises the mirrors as if he knows things about mirrors. and
there are some mirrors where you're from, but usually the bougier places or like some merchants have mirrors. There's a few people that are like, here, see if you have the sight. And then they bring a mirror. Stuff like that. Because people where you're from are not scared of reflective surfaces. They're more like, oh yes, a reflective surface, look into it and see if you're fancy.
You can see your soul kind of thing.
Yeah, more like that. So you know what a mirror is. But weirdly enough, you know that usually when you look into a mirror, it reflects you. But you stand in front of one of them. And Luna was crying in the background. And what you see is not your reflection, but a brightly lit hill, bright green, with a few animals that you've never seen before running through it.
So for him, the green hill itself is not unknown because he's seen things like this before. But the running animals are weird because they're running through as if there were no snow.
Yeah,
and
like
I think
you've seen this in the reflections a few times, but you've never seen it so clearly.
I think on some level he kind of assumed that they just had green snow. So he doesn't really understand the concept of grass on this distance.
Yeah.
So when he sees them running, he kind of has this weird sense, like when you lift up a carton of juice that's empty, but you thought it was full, like this dissonance feeling of like, is something really wrong? They're running on snow. And then he realized that they're probably not running on snow, they're probably running on something else.
Yeah. The mirror gets a bit cloudy as you feel a hand on your shoulder, heavier than you're used to. Definitely adult, because it's bigger than a children's hand.
He screams like a kid that wants to attract grown-ups to danger. Scream. Because he totally didn't expect anyone here, and is probably a little bit more on edge than he want to admit.
Do you move at all?
I think that he's panicky enough that he actually doesn't move the first few seconds, but he will move given like a second of screaming.
Mhm.
And then he will just run in a random direction because he has no idea where he is.
The hallway seems to go into nothingness. And as you start running, the feeling of the hand on the shoulder vanishes. You do hear a voice echoing through the room. You're not sure where it's coming from while you're running. You're not ready yet, but you're brave. Go on. And then one of the mirrors of the wall comes off and just hovers in front of you. As you see a beautiful forest, green. It's bright there, which is weird. It looks beautiful. And it blocks your way to continue.
I think he's panicky enough that he's very skeptical, even if it's very beautiful, and he's so interested in these places, like, wouldn't believe. But I think he actually turns around and tries to walk in the other direction, and does the mirror like hover in front of him again, and it's like, oh, what do you want from me? I need to get to bed. And then he sits down and have a responsible moment for at least 1.3 seconds, and then he's like, what the heck? And then he just jumps through the mirror.
Love it. You land on, well, what you know is grass, but Lord doesn't know that it's grass. It's slightly damp as you feel what should be snow falling on you, ever so slightly, but it's a very faint rain. It's so warm here that you have to take off your jacket immediately. But it's so bright too. There's a ginormous thing in the sky where the moon should be that blinds you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, like, you've seen this a few times, but you've never been inside of it.
I think that he will probably keep the basket on, like, because then he can get like some kind of sun protection. But if is there just like grass plains, or were there trees somewhere? Because he will probably seek out shadow as soon as possible.
There's a few trees. It's more like forest area than...
He'll make a surprised sound and like run towards one of the trees and like hugging it and being fairly confused about the whole situation. But also very fascinating, like touching bark and like, oh, this is a weird tree and it's warm and it's like, Are there trees in the winter place, or?
There are trees in the winter place, but usually like pines and trees that don't die in the winter.
Yeah, also, how do they grow when there's no sun? That's a discussion for another time. But they're there. Okay, he's seen trees before. Fine. I think he just explores and runs around and very much forgets time very quickly. And he sees all these wonderful, beautiful things, but at some point he will again get nervous, like, oh fuck, I need to get to bed. Or like, am I dreaming? Is this dreaming? Am I already in bed? Does this mean I have more playtime? And there are so many thoughts just running around in his head.
At some point, like, you walk around, you're still inside of a forest, or what looks to be a forest. At some point you start to hear, I want to say footsteps, but it's louder than footsteps should be.
Is the ground shaking footsteps, or like just...
No, It just sounds heavier than normal footsteps.
Because I'm like, does he actually know its footsteps? Because is
Oh,
it
because it's
only
not on snow or
Nah,
stone.
yeah, because he only have heard people walking on like stone or wood or like
True.
But there's some sound. Is it coming towards him or is it?
Yes.
Yeah, he hides probably the best he can. Like if he can climb up a tree, he'll probably climb up a tree.
You could try climbing a tree for sure.
Are we rolling for climbing up a tree? Can I
If
roll
you
with-
want to, yeah.
Yeah, can I roll with advantage because he's a street kid? Again, climbing up things is totally his.
I'm not sure Street Kit would work with that, considering that you're not used to climbing non-icy surfaces. You're also scared as shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're also trying to hide, right?
Yeah.
So
what?
I would let you roll with finesse to try and like scramble up a few and then hide in the branches.
Okay, 7 with hope.
As you scurry up the tree, there's a female voice coming from below you as a woman with interesting horns and a lower body with fur and a little baby carrying thing and a little basket on the side comes up to the side of the tree and looks up at you. You know you don't have to hide.
I'm totally hiding. You can't see me, and then he's like moving up behind a branch, and you can totally see his hands around the branch.
Oh yes, of course, absolutely.
You should
Sure.
totally go away. I can throw things from here. He doesn't have anything to throw at her from this position. Like it's like nothing.
Are you sure? Are you lost?
No, with a voice that says yes.
Okay. Well, my name is Lavender, and my cottage is that direction, and she points into one of the directions. If you're hungry, we have space. Don't we, Zolar? And you hear a little baby cooing.
I'm not hungry. I can find my own food. Go away.
Okay. I'll leave something here for you. And you can see that she puts down a little wrapped up thing and then walks away while like murmuring, "This direction."
He takes very good note of which direction he's going. I think as a street kid, he very much grew up with like if someone offered you food, either they were stupid or they wanted something from you. So, yeah, but he's also very hungry. He realized because he's in a strange place and he doesn't know how to find food here. Usually he steals
Or
food.
what to eat.
Or what to eat. When that person is out of direction, like out of eyesight, he definitely goes down to check out what she left behind. Yeah.
Wrapped up in a little piece of purple cloth is what looks like a freshly baked, slightly squished muffin. It smells delightful.
Yes, and he's watering, and he's like, "This could be a trap. This could be a trap. This could be a trap." But after having a very serious like half a second of consideration, he's that muffin will not exist anymore within a very short time frame. It disappeared.
It tastes so good.
It's like it's so good. He's just lying in the grass and just having a slight, not food coma, but an ecstasy moment of this. What is this? I need more. Wait, where did she go? What direction? And then, but there was like a basket that thing came in.
No, a little piece of purple cloth.
Okay, he will totally bring the piece of purple cloth, fold it up very nicely, eat all the crumbs, and then he will, in his idea of sneaky, follow in that direction.
It's very easy to find. There's a little garden and a little cottage. in the front there's a little swing where a yellowish-skinned baby is laying in. And the woman stands on the side currently watering flowers and pushing the baby on the swing slightly.
I think he places himself where he's pretty sure that she will hear, and then having folded this purple piece of cloth very as meticulously as he could, and he's like, "It was a very good muffin, and you forgot this."
She like looks over. You're welcome. You can come in.
So skeptical, but yes, he will. He will walk into the strange cottage, fully preparing to die immediately. Yeah. Teacher says we shouldn't follow strange people into their homes.
Well, you're just
And
in
then
my
he
garden
walks into
for
the
now.
home. Yeah. It's like, so I would technically require your name so you're not a stranger anymore to enter this place.
Well, again, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Lavender, and this is Solar.
Lavender is a color, not a name.
Lavender is a color and a name. And he points, and she points at purple flowers, and also a flower.
I am convinced. And then he, he walks into the home and very looks around and again assumes this very like street kid attitude of like, I have no care in the world, I'm just walking around here as if I owned the place kind of situation. So do you live here? Which is fairly obvious that she does, but she's trying to make small talk.
She like lets you in, leaves the door open as the baby flies in, and now you see the baby is not a baby but a small child, and has little wings.
Oh, he
and
has he seen flying things before?
Flying things, yes, not that colorful.
Okay, so he assumes it's a like. Why do you have a bird baby?
Oh, Zolar is a half fairy.
He pronounces. Does he know what a fairy is? Or like,
no.
No.
You have never seen a fairy.
Fairy. He like tastes the words as he pronounces them.
Yes, half fairy.
I never
and I'm
heard
a fawn, and I think you're a human.
The fawn also doesn't exist in the
Wizard.
No, it's like fawn. Like I had never met people like you. Where do you live?
Right here.
Where is this? I know you live here. I asked that before, but
she like points out the window, and you can see a bit more forest, but a bit further you can see a few more houses. And she like points. We're living in the middle of the meadow forest.
Okay, what is a meadow?
I see we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, like, or he could probably have done something like this where he's like, I know what a meadow is, but how would you describe a meadow?
I love it. We will zoom out of there and zoom into something else in a second. But if Lorn wants to, Lavender will give him the option to live in her house if he helps a little bit around in the garden and cleaning and stuff. Because it's just her and Zolar. But she basically offers him a home if he wants to take it.
I think he given other circumstances, he would to like if he ran away from the orphanage or something like that, he would totally. But I think he's actually worried about his teacher, and maybe like but I think that he would be very excited and like lose a bit of his cool in that excitement, and just being a kid who someone actually offered him a home. But again, he's a street kid. He's very skeptical about grown-ups. But then he would probably, but no, I need to talk to my teacher first before agreeing on this. I need to get back home. Do you know where home is?
She'd try and help you find where home is, but obviously that city does not exist here.
Yeah, and
Nothing
I'm not
that you describe exists here.
I also not sure he knows the name of the city. It's just the
Yeah.
place. Yeah, something like that. He will probably get really sad when he realizes that if that goes far away. So they walk around in the forest and they walk around like.
She would also show him the meadow town, and like they'd look at maps together, but it wouldn't. I think it wouldn't help.
He doesn't see like the mountains at any point during this. Because if he sees snow, he will probably be very, very insisting on going to the snow.
On the map, you'd see mountain and snow, yeah.
Yeah, so at some point he's probably very insisting on wanting to go there.
Yeah.
But if the grown-up insists that no, you're not ready for that, or like, yeah, we can go there, but you need to be older, then he probably, oh no, my teacher is gonna be so mad. But he will have this super fixed idea of getting to the top of the mountain.
She would not stop you. She would come with you. She would need a few days to prepare, but she would come with you to the Iron Peaks. But I think slowly but surely over time, Lorn realizes that he's not home anymore.
Yeah.
Because the Iron Peaks, yes, there's snow, but it's not nearly as close, as cold as home.
No.
So nothing feels close.
No. He will probably be depressed for a while, but he's at enough of a young age that I think he will be depressed, and then he will just find something to do, which is mostly helping Lavender around the house. And again, this Faye is not her child, and it's just an adolescent individual. Does the Fae talk? Fairy.
More like mumble. At some point it'll start talking, but it takes a child a while to properly learn how to talk.
Okay, so
it's like a toddler still.
So this is a person that he essentially more or less grows up with at this point? What's the fairy's name again? It was...
the half fairy's name is Zolar, so Zolar. And it's half fairy, half fawn, because it has little horns.
Oh.
Very small horns, to be fair, but it has them.
I think at some point, Lorn would probably ask a very imprudent question of where's the rest of the family, or kind of thing, like.
Lavender would tell you that Zoru, the dad of Zolar, does not live anymore. He died a few years ago, before Zola was born. But that Zolar's other mom lives inside of the water and comes to visit one and then. You would get to know her too.
So this is essentially, this turns out to be his essentially found family when he grows up. Yeah. It's so fun. My character has a family.
Yay!
Yay. He probably tells a lot of very weird stories to Solar. Like Lavendel would probably find. I think he doesn't open up all that much to Lavendel, like until after a few years. but he probably tells. I think Lavendel more than often finds herself in another room, and then he hears Lorn talking to Solar and just telling these most outrageous weird stories about this place with snow. So Solar probably grew up a lot with stories of the other place.
Yeah. Over time, you'll know that Lavender is a bit wary of when you talk about home, and like believes you 100%, but does tell you to not talk about it with other people. Crafta does not care. Crafta is not scared of reflective surfaces, because underwater, nothing and everything is reflective, because everything's moving. So the wetlanders, as they call them, the people that live in or on top of the water, are not scary. I'm not scared of your scary stories. So Crafta would be the person to talk to. So you basically grow up with two moms-ish, because Crafta's not there always.
She's the cool mom that comes in, and Lavendel is the working mom that makes things actually stick together.
Lavender is the stay-at-home mom, and Crafta is the one that like sends their money, and the one that comes over every few weeks.
The cold place. I think the cold place is Crafta and Lorns made up word for talking about the other place. Because other places can be cold, even if like it can be underground, or like water can sometimes be cold when it's in the shadow. So, but, yeah. I also could totally see that Crafta is where Lorn, even if he probably had an inert personality of exploring and having this need of finding home, so he has a reason to be very explorative. I think Crafta was the one that actually encouraged it. And when he gets his other family as a grown-up, this is probably a template. Crafta is very much a template of his own personality at that time. Yeah, makes sense.
Like, funny enough, because I thought about how would he adapt to this world, and it's really funny to me that he basically comes from a polyamorous commune family, and in adulthood will be part of a polyamorous commune.
It's almost as we adapt cultural templates to their own.
Who would have thought? But thinking about childhood, I think we will fast forward several years onto, well, where does Lorn live in his adulthood?
Lorn has a home, but I think he's the home is his family, like his wife and husband, and that the commune people are his family. It's not a place in of itself, even if they probably never moved. But he's also as much adventurous spirit that sure he has a home, but he's rarely there, and a home is where he walks, kind of thing. He doesn't really have this sense of a place being where he belongs, because again he grew up with thinking he came from another place as well. So I don't know what name. Where is that forest? Can we put that out on the map?
Yes, the forest is here.
So this would be Meadow Forest.
Yeah, and the town next to it, this one, is Meadowtown. So it's possible that they have a house in Meadowtown?
Yeah,
and that is the commune?
Yeah, I think on some, because if the because he's probably highly fascinated about maps, and at some point no, I don't think he got moved from Eisgrenzen at such an early age that sure he can probably figure out that this is also like the greatest city, probably located in the same place, but there's no resemblance to like unless the streets are more or less exactly the same. So when he went to the summer places equivalent to Eisgrenzen, that he kind of at some point figured out that could that be a theory of his that there is some parallel thing going on, but he hasn't like he's not really sure. I don't want him to be sure that it is, that he knows for sure.
No, it wouldn't be exactly the same, because in a cold place you need, for example, 2 ways for carts to go. Here you don't.
No.
That city is either the City of Sun or the City of the Colossus. It has 2 names, but it's basically where the Colossus is mostly worshipped, I want to say, because this is the city that gets the most sun over the course of the day.
Is it like located straight atop or something like that, or? Like,
well, they built it in a way that it's a bit higher up, so it gets sun wherever the sun is in the arc.
Oh yeah, because the sun moves. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to answer that question again, like he doesn't really have a good sense of home as most other people would define it. But if someone asked him where is your home, he would of course say meadow, and where his family lives and where the commune lives. Yeah.
Who are your husband and wife? What do they look like?
Oh, so many questions. Many questions.
It's fine if you don't have names. We can come up with names together. I would like their ancestries.
Yeah, I could totally see that the wife and the husband are also fawn. Because that's okay, like now we're developing mommy issues.
Yeah.
Yes. And I could totally see that, like in metaphors, the fawns are more like there are more fawns in like this.
Possible.
Coming home, so I think they're both fawns, but I also think that the commune itself is very split. So there are also humans and elves and like other creatures.
Yeah, everything is quite diverse.
I could totally see that the commune is like say 30 plus, like 20 to 30 people, something like that. And it's fun because then you can have a backstory where like I know a person. it's always someone in the commune who knows something. If you hadn't had a very specific idea of how the family had developed, I would think that that he also met these people in early adolescence, and I would love them to have like a very early triangle drama thing until they realize that they all kind of like each other. So throughout adolescence, there's probably like an on and off thing, and there's so much an on and off thing between these 3 people that everyone else just assumed that they can't forget who's part of the troupe or not. So at some point, it's just everyone else is just referring to them as the 3 or like these 3 people. Because I think that's kind of cute. It's like an adolescent thing that then they just stay together from there, and then at some point they just decide they just got married. I also need to define the kid. So the kid is fawn human.
Yeah.
Yep. We need to find names for the family.
Yeah, but we don't have to do that right now.
Name, kid name.
Cool.
Yeah.
One last question before we dive into the last scene situation. Is there a specific place where Lorn goes when he's not home? Or is he just like walking around the forest or?
Yeah, I think. Oh, that's actually kind of good. That's actually kind of good. But I
Because
think
he had a place
that,
in Sapphire.
yeah, I think that if you look at the Iron Peaks, I imagine like on the northern side there are hills and like smaller peaks.
Yeah.
I imagine that he have built like a very, very tiny, not even a cabin, like more like a wind shelter on one of the hills or the peaks very close to Iron Peaks where he can see the Iron Peak. And there is something in his, like, he gets very calm when he sees snow. And that's like the place where he goes when he's upset or when he needs to get away. And I think the family knows that, and they are not super fond of it, but they also kind of know where to find him, because I think you can see that peak from Meadow very, very far off in distance. So they kind of know physically where he is, but they also know that he's like 1 or 2 days away or something. And I would like to, in general, that's a happy marriage thing. Like, as always, they have the problem, and again, he disappears for weeks and comes back, but he's always not. There, I would like to think as the commune marriage is not that troubled.
Yeah.
In the sense. So you have something to wreck if you want that. There.
Absolutely, yeah. I love to wreck things.
Like,
Cool.
first session,
Then...
Meadow is burning in the distance. You see flares.
No, but we zoom into Lorn sitting in his wind shelter. He's already been away for a few days. It's raining, a bit heavier than usual. But the sun is still out because the clouds never fully cover the sky. Well, very rarely. And as he's looking at the Iron Peak, there's a pink hue that starts to form. He has not seen a pink hue or pink mist since he was a child.
Oh, okay. I think he more or less immediately packs up his bags and heads off towards the mist, because again, this is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes him a while, and he almost suspects it to not be there when he reaches the peak.
Yeah, and he gets really panicky when he loses sight of it, when he needs to walk down on like a ravine or up a tree, like, yeah.
But for the first time in a very long time, the pink hue turns into pink mist and does not disappear fully, but gets more dense as you get closer. And as you step on the little patch of snow up here that just exists at the very tippy top of the peak, the pink mist takes shape of an oval that reminds you of what you saw in the hallway just before you entered here.
I think he stands there with his walking stick and his little bag and like looks back towards his family and is like, oh bugger, and then he walks through the mist. It's like,
as you step through the mist, you expect to go somewhere, but you just end up on the other side of the mist still, on the peak.
Double bugger. And he's so disappointed because there was so much emotions and so many decisions going on in his head, like swearing to the gods that he will find a way back to his family, and then nothing happens. It's so anticlimactic.
As you look at
Okay.
it a bit closer, the mist like reforms again after you step through.
Mm.
And first it reflects you, but then your vision of you fades.
Mm.
And you see other shapes, other oval big shapes, the mirrors in the hallway that you were in. And inside of those mirrors that you see, other figures start to appear.
Mm.
Other people, as if they're looking into what you're looking into.
Mm. Mm.
And that's the point where we will stop and pick up back again at the intro session.